Hi, guys. This is Mrs. Thomas, and today we are going to continue celebrating some fun days in April. So, first up, Monday, April 12th is the start of Ramadan. So, for you today, I'm going to read to you the book, The Gift of Ramadan, and then I'm going to show you some other books that we have here at our library that are connected to Ramadan. So, let's get started. This is by Rabia York Lombard and illustrated by Laura K. Horton. A rainbow of color winked at Sophia as she handed the Ramadan lights to her mama. These were her favorite decorations because they made her feel as though a special guest was coming. Grandma raised an eyebrow. Pretty, she said, pretty and sparkly, just like the heart of a person who fasts. Sophia stopped twirling. Really? She asked. Sophia loved sparkles, glitter, stars. Her new ring, it was a gift from Grandma for her birthday last month. Grandma stopped rocking. Really? Sophia knew that fasting was not to eat or drink from sun up to sundown. Sophia loved food, but she also loved sparkles. She turned to her mama. When does Ramadan begin? Mama opened the curtain. Adam, Sophia's little brother, pointed to the sky. Moon, he said. That's right, Mama answered. See how thin it is? Sophia nodded. That is the crescent moon, the beginning of a new month. Tomorrow is the first day of fasting. Count me in, Sophia grinned. Mama woke Sophia when it was so early that not even the sun was awake. Time for sahur, she sang. Sophia sat down to a breakfast of eggs, fruit, and Dad's pancakes. But Sophia could barely keep her eyes open. You have to eat, Grandma told her. It will chase away the hungries. Sophia reached for a pancake, but a few minutes later, time's up, Dad said. They got up from the table and unrolled the prayer rugs one by one. Sophia tried her best to stay awake, but the moment her head touched the ground, sleep came over her. Mama reached forward to nudge her, but Grandma waved her finger to say, let her sleep. When Sophia woke for the second time, it was almost noon. Her tummy was empty and her throat was dry, but even drinking water was against the rules. So Sophia decided to stay busy. She read for a while. She organized the clothes in her closet from least to most sparkly. And then she drew, but her tummy began to gurgle louder and louder. Shh, Sophia said, I'm drawing. She glanced down at her paper. Yikes, she said. I've got to get out of here. Look at all her drawings. Candy and food. Sophia found Adam in front of the TV. In his hand was a humongous cookie. He waved it in front of her face and sang, Me cookie eat, yummy yum yum. Sophia's tummy roared. The cookie looked delicious. Please stop, she said, but Adam kept singing. Sophia clenched her hands. She bit her lip. She wanted to yell. Instead, she ran out of the room. Her brother chased her. Adam was fast, but Sophia was faster. Sophia was so fast she ran out of breath. She needed to hide. Adam was still looking for her. Sophia turned on the light. Oh no, she thought. I've really got to get out of here. But she couldn't. Adam was stomping by, still singing that song. Me cookie eat, yummy yum yum. She plugged her ears. She closed her eyes. Sophia took a deep breath, and the scent of chocolate filled her nose. What is this? Asked Grandma. Sophia's eyes drifted to the floor. I got too hungry. There, my love. No one expects you to fast for an entire day. Grandma wrapped Sophia in a big hug. There's always tomorrow and the day after and the next. You have a full month to keep trying. Sophia twisted her ring. She wiped away her tears. But I wanted to feel sparkly now, she said. You are sparkly, Grandma said. I can see your sparkles growing. Sophia shrugged. She didn't feel sparkly. And did you know, continued Grandma, there are other ways to celebrate Ramadan. Sophia thought about that. She knew Mama read the Quran and maybe it gave her head sparkles, but Sophia couldn't read it, not on her own. And her dad was always sharing things with family, friends, and strangers. He said that Ramadan was a time for charity, a special kind of sharing for those who need extra help. But Sophia didn't have any money. Sophia was about to give up when she glanced down at Grandma's hands. They were covered in flour. "What are you making?" she asked. "Yummy food for our first iftar," Grandma replied. That's it, Sophie thought. If I couldn't fast, then at least she could help prepare dinner for those who did, and I'm going to help. Sophia put on her apron and got to work. She tossed the salad. Then she helped Grandma make 5 super sparkly pizzas, one for each member of the family. Sophia thought they were sparkly because they had extra cheese on them. Grandma thought it was the fresh parsley that made them shine. When the oven buzzed, Sophia jumped up from her chair. The pizzas were finally done. But when Grandma opened the oven, smoke billowed out. Oh no, Sophia frowned. The top 3 pizzas were perfect, but the bottom 2 were burnt to a crisp. Grandma plopped down. She looked exhausted. Iftar was just around the corner. Don't worry, Grandma, said Sophia. I've got this. Really? Asked Grandma. Really, said Sophia. Sophia set the table. She gave each person one big bowl of soup and one salad. She placed a pitcher of water and a bowl of dates on the table. Then she asked Grandma to cut up the 3 perfect pizzas. Tiny slices were better than none. Sophia's family gathered around the table. They raised their hands and offered thanks. They each drank water and ate a date. When there was only one slice of pizza left, Grandma insisted that Sophia take it. You've earned it. No thanks, Sophia smiled. She didn't want it anymore. She didn't need any more. Her heart was wonderfully full. And then this is the author's note about Ramadan and how it's the 9th month of the Islamic calendar and the 4th pillar of Islam. So the month is holy to all Muslims because they believe that it was during the first time that their holy book were spoken to the Prophet Muhammad. So just like her mother in the book was reading their holy book, that's what Muslim people do in real life. So this goes through and explains it a little bit more. And then we have Golden Domes and Silver Lanterns, a Muslim book of colors by Hina Khan. And this also explains Ramadan a little bit and some things in the culture. And then we have 2 nonfiction books that are connected to Ramadan. We have this one, which is a great one for some of our younger kids, easier readers. Okay. And then it's also, we have this nonfiction, Celebrating Ramadan by Diane Holt Goldsmith. And this goes into a little more detail and a little more information about fasting and giving to others and community. It has a glossary because it's nonfiction also. So those are our Ramadan books, and that is Monday, April 12th. On April 15th, we have Titanic Day. So I have some Titanic books to show you. We do have some chapter books like A Magic Treehouse Tonight on the Titanic or I Survived the Sinking of the Titanic. We have The Key Hunters, The Titanic Treasure, and then we have Ranger in Time, Disaster on the Titanic. These are great for some of our 2nd grade readers. And then we have some nonfiction. We have a lot of nonfiction books for Titanic. We have The Titanic Sinks. This is a chapter book, but it is nonfiction, so it's full of facts. This is Voices from the Disaster, and this is also nonfiction. I love it because there's some photographs of actual people and events that happened inside the ship. There is a nonfiction Magic Treehouse, the research guide for the Titanic. So that's full of facts. We just have all kinds of Titanic books. And then we have this one, which is literally a big book for a big ship, Titanic. So this is kind of a fun one, and there's some interactive things you can do inside this book, things you can touch and open. So that's kind of cool, some lip flaps to lip. Okay. And then this is a nonfiction, good question. What sank the world's biggest ship? And other questions about the Titanic. So if we go through here, again, this is nonfiction. So this would be lots of facts and information telling us about the Titanic and why it sank and what sank it. But also it talks about, binoculars and icebergs and why did people say it was unsinkable? What happened to the passengers? Who lived, who died, and then a timeline in the back. Okay, and then April 17th is Haiku Day. So I have a few books for that. And this is Haiku, A Year of Seasons. These would be in our poetry books. Haiku is a poetic form that originated in Japan. So I will read you some now. These haikus follow a certain syllable pattern. So it says here that traditionally it was made up of 17 sound parts, but it's really divided into 3 lines. So it has 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and then 5 syllables. So 5, 7, 5. So it's 3-line poems. So autumn, are you dreaming of new clothes? So that's for fall. And then we have these leaves fall forever. My broom waits. Found in my coat pocket a missing button. The wind's surprise. Dance through cold rain, then go home to hot soup. Eating warm cookies on a cold day is easy. Friend, is that you knocking at the door too? Winter. Snowfall gathers my footprints. I do a powdery stomp. Love that little panda bear. Snowball hits the stop sign. Heart beats faster. Are we in trouble? Icicles reach down with dripping fingers. Will they touch the ground? In the snow, this cat vanishes, just ears and twitching tail. King, my crown a gift from a snowy branch. Shadows getting long, snowfall flutters around the outside lamps. Morning crocuses, winter is old now and closes her doors. And now we're at spring. New leaves, new grass, new sky. Spring. Too much TV this winter. My eyes are square. Let's go out and play. It's a funny picture. Flashlights sparkle in puddles, shadows climbing trees. Quiet and still, long enough for birds to make nest. Reading aloud a favorite book, an audience of sparrows. Killing a bug afterward, feeling alone and sad. Summer, tiny lights, garden full of blinking stars, fireflies. Summer morning, up with the kite, send the moon to bed. Violet petal caressing a cheek, butterfly kisses. Water catches every thrown stone, skip, skip, splash. Perilous tic-tac-toe, X's and O's sometimes become dragons. I love that sidewalk chalk drawing that they're turning into the dragon. Come again, visit your upside down, fuzzy eared friend. Becoming so quiet, zero sound, only breath. And you see the red cardinal setting in the nest on his head? So that is haiku. And the panda's name is Ku, but haiku is a name and a type of poetry, remember? We have a dog Ku. This is by Andrew Clements. I know a lot of our 4th and 5th graders have enjoyed reading his fiction books. So this is Andrew Clements' Dog Ku, illustrated by Tim Bowers. There on the back steps, the eyes of a hungry dog. Will she shut the door? First food, then a bath. The food was a lot more fun. Still, it all feels good. Morning brings children, hugs, licks, barking, and laughing, warmer than sunshine. A dog needs a name. Rags, Mutt, Pooch? No, not Rover. Mooch? Yes, Mooch. Perfect. Loud, fast, and crazy. Food, coats, then the front door slams. Mooch hates the school bus. First, arf, arf, then woof. Soon, arf, arf, then woof, woof, woof. Mooch has such nice neighbors. Nose out the window, ears flapping, hair pushed straight back. Adventures in smell. And look at the pictures to tell the story. The house is quiet. No kids, no mom, and no food. What's a dog to do? Chew on dirty socks. Roll around in weak old trash. Ah, that's much better. Squirrel sits in tree. Mooch sits below looking up. Who has more patience? Sun all morning long, a deep, cool drink of water, shade all afternoon. Scratch, sniff, eat, yawn, nap, dreams of rabbits and running. Could life be sweeter? The sound of children, that's what was missing all day. Mooch loves the school bus. Family meeting, there are words and words and words. Did someone say pound? Dad puts on his coat, and then the sound of a car. It doesn't look good. It's the car again. Then footsteps at the door. Will this be goodbye? A new doggy bed, food, a bowl, a squeaky toy. Mooch has found his home. So they adopted him. How cute is that? So that's dog Q. And then we have If Not for the Cat. This is by Jack Perlutsky. And this is also written in haiku. So you guys can check this one out. Beautiful illustrations and pictures by Ted Rand. They're actually paintings. And then Nikki Grimes did a pocket full of poems. And she has some haikus in here, like right there is one. And so you can go through and look at her different poetry. And then this is actually a fiction book by John Skiza. And this is Sam Samurai from the Time Warp Trio. It's a series. But in this one, it's a detective mystery. They're trying to find the haiku and the author. So it's kind of a cool book. So remember that April 12th is the start of Ramadan. April 15th is Titanic Remembrance Day. And April 17th is Haiku Day. Have a great week, everybody.